Well, hello, everybody. It is the Dennis and Andy Show with your movie review in a few, where we sum up a movie in the first few minutes of a show and rate it for you. And then after that, we take a pause and we do spoilers. So if you don't want to hear them, you can leave and come back later. This week's movie is a movie called Strays, about dogs. And I can already tell you that using my magical prediction powers when we do the rating of it, I don't want to spoil anything, but Dennis is going to go out with a 10.0 on this bad boy. I already know it. He was so stunned by this movie that during the whole hour and a half of the movie, I didn't hear one single noise come out of his mouth. And there were only like 6 people in the theater, and literally I heard nothing. I thought he was asleep. I looked over. I almost thought he was dead. I looked over, eyes wide open, chest moving in and out. He was that captivated by it.
So, guys, Strays, we've seen the movie trailer many times in all of the wonderful movies that we go to see. And the trailer was captivating. I said, this could really be a funny movie. I said, it kind of has all the elements, and I said, if they can hold this trailer and make sure that this is just a few good pieces, I think they could have something special here. So the premise of the story is a dog, he winds up teaming up with other strays to get revenge on the owner. And all I'm going to say is, the highlight of this movie, besides the trailer, is all the characters were, Will Ferrel was great as Reggie. Jamie Foxx he's got comedic chops, and I really wanted to see what he could do, kind of like the old Living Color days. He played Bug. He was great. Isla Fisher played Maggie. I adored her. Randall Park was Hunter, probably my favorite out of all the dogs. He was great. And Will Forte played the best owner Doug you could ask for. And they were all great. I really liked the dogs. The problem is the script.
Yes.
Literally 85% of the entire good bits was the trailer. There were 2 other spots which we had already kind of seen from the trailer, which were good. And all I'm going to say about that is this is about an hour and a half movie, and it felt about 30 minutes too long.
Yeah, seriously. We saw, like Dennis said, we've been seeing this trailer for months. We've been seeing the green band. We've seen the red band trailer numerous times. Easily, if you want to see this movie, just go YouTube the red band trailer and you're good to go. I mean, I don't need to repeat what Dennis said. I agree with what he said. The actors were fine. Will Forte as the owner was fine. I can't remember the one guy's name in the movie. There's another, human actor that worked at a kennel. He's a comedic actor. You'll recognize him. Dennis, if you have his name, you know who I'm talking about. As soon as you mean I don't know if you have the IMDb
dog catcher.
Yeah, no, not the dog catcher. He worked at the kennel.
Right. I mean, but he really was, one of the dog catcher guys.
But you'll recognize him. He always plays character parts. He's not obviously a leading man type, but he's funny. He was good. I don't know if Dennis noticed this on my part, but I actually dozed off for about 15 minutes. So,
I did not notice that.
And here's the worst part about that is it wasn't in the middle. It wasn't at the end. When Courtney and I went to see it. So when we were driving to the theater, for some reason, and it happens to all of us, it just kind of hit me. I'm like, wow, I feel tired. But I'm going to see a movie. And whenever that happens, as soon as it starts, I usually am like, bing, wide awake. I remember the beginning of the movie, like, the first 5 minutes or so, 6 minutes. Dude, remember the part? And I say from the trailer because I didn't see this in the movie. So it happened really quick. Uh, and that shows how soon I nodded off. You remember the part in the trailer when he's walking along and he sees Will Ferrell's dog is walking along and he sees the two, I don't know what breed of dogs they were, but they were basically like the whore dogs, the female prostitute type dogs. And
yeah. So Sofia Vergara, she was one of the dogs.
I didn't see that.
Oh,
that's when I was asleep.
Yeah, I know where you were then.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can't believe I missed that. That happened so quick in the movie. Holy crap. I was just like, wow. So yeah, I mean, it's bad when in the first 20 minutes of the movie, you're out like that.
Now, guys, comedy is subjective. We get that. We have seen some really good movie. This is a raunch-com. We've already seen some raunch-coms this year. And, I was expecting that. You've got dogs. Everybody loves dogs. So I'm thinking of like Ted. Ted, right. Adorable teddy bear, off the wall stuff. He says, love that movie. Instead, what we got was adorable dogs with the CGI where they moved their mouth was fairly decent through most of it.
No, that was decent.
Yeah. And instead we got Sausage Party, which, I
wouldn't even say it was
dick, poop, and
yeah, but sausage
that you could have.
Sausage Party made it work though. Like Sausage Party was better than this.
Sausage Party.
I thought it was better than this, but once again, we're not going there. But I agree. That's what it was. That's why, I'm not. And I told Courtney on the way home, I said that just wasn't good. She's like, what do you mean? You laughed? And I said, I laughed at a couple key points, which we'll bring up in the spoiler section. But that's it.
I will just say, because I did stay awake through the whole thing and I was intent on the movie because I was looking for things to like about the movie. And there are some good things. Like I said, the CGR, except for the one scene where the one dog gets snatched. Other than that, the CGI wasn't bad and the acting was great. It was just a terrible for a raunch-com. I mean, Joyride was so much better than this.
Oh yeah,
Jennifer Lawrence movie, No Hard Feelings, much better than this. And I was just like, yeah.
All right,
we need to get into spoilers. So let's
review it then. Give it your grade so we can get into spoilers.
I am giving this one, because of the solid voice acting on this one, a 3.5.
Wow, you're higher than me. I'm going 3.0.
Are you serious? Oh
yeah, dude.
God. Oh my God. I thought for sure you and I were really going to be fire and ice on this one. So
what did you think I'd give it? A 7 or 5 or 6?
At least a few times.
I did, and
a lot. And
I'll tell you in the spoilers when I laugh.
But I just got to see. IMDb is giving it a 6.6, which is way higher. And Rotten Tomatoes, once again, no audience score. Come on, guys. The movie's out. We should have a score by now. It's almost like they're purposely not. The critics who are supposed to like this movie are giving it a 54. So
I can't believe it's that high.
I can't either, and so all right, we'll dig into it. So let's
wait. Spoiler warning. 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. All right, I'll tell you when I laughed. And I was really surprised you were silent during the whole movie, even during this. So there's a scene in the movie, you saw it in the trailer, where Jamie Foxx's little dog gets a Boston Terrier gets picked up by a bald eagle, right? And that's kind of funny. Yep. And then Will Ferrell's dog there tries to help him, and he runs and he jumps on this big rock and he leaps off the rock and he grabs on with his mouth, obviously, to the back leg of Jamie Foxx's dog character. So now they're both being flown by an eagle, right? And then you cut to a bird watcher, and the bird watcher is Dennis Quaid. So right there, I'm like, no shit. They got Dennis Quaid to do a cameo. That's not the funny part. The funny part is what he says. And I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to hope to God that Dennis remembered it verbatim or close enough, because he usually is good at that. So Dennis, take away what Dennis Quaid said, and this is why I laughed.
So Dennis Quaid had, and I almost laughed. I did laugh internally at this, but I kind of knew it was coming. So Dennis Quaid hears the noise and he puts the binoculars up and he's looking at him and he sees the birds with the two dogs and he goes, wow, there's something you don't see every day. And he opens up his book first and then he says, he needs to check it off. And then it's all these, what you would think are different birds, you know, like a woodpecker or a yellow-bellied whatever, you check it. No, every single one of his birds says bird. And that's
with
it.
With a box next to it. Yeah.
With the check mark. And he checks off bird again.
But even better than that, he's literally, like Dennis said, he opens it up. It's 2 pages, just says birds like 10 times on each page, little box. But not only does he open it and check it off, it's not he checks it off right away. He actually does the thing with his finger where he's going down the line, like, I need to check off what I just saw. And it just, all of them just say birds. So he finally gets to it and he goes, checked. And not all the boxes are checked. So it's not like he's looking for an empty box. There's plenty of empty boxes and plenty of check boxes. He's just going to the right one and he checks it. But it's what he says after that.
And then he's like, well, you know, I'm Dennis Quaid. And Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
And did he say shit or did he say shit or fucked up shit?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
but
that was it.
Was just good because you weren't expect that from Dennis Quaid.
Well, you didn't expect. So wait, did you actually expect him to say his name?
No, especially
right. That's why I laughed.
Third person, you know.
Yeah, that's why I laughed. I didn't laugh that it was at him just saying I've seen some shit. It was because
I'm Dennis Quaid.
That's some shit, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit, and that's why I laughed. And the other part of it for me was I just heard an interview with Dennis Quaid on a podcast like a week ago. And one of the things he talked about that I didn't know about him was in the 80s when he was super popular doing movies left and right, he was really into coke. I didn't know that. And I didn't know that, you know, it just got to a point where that's why him and Meg Ryan split up once again. Didn't know that. So that's why he went to rehab. So just the part of him going, Dennis Quaid has seen some shit. I thought of that right away. And that did make me laugh out loud.
Yeah. So there were a couple of good spots. There's a really good bunny sub-story plot in there. And that really was the highlight.
That was good too.
It was
you didn't laugh.
That was good, and I was close to it. It's a mixture of almost laughing and almost a bit in horror, also with a mixture of Monty Python and the Holy Grail kind of mixed in there. So that was actually a good part, which is one of the highlights.
Dude, but this is hold on. This is a spoiler review. Let's go there. That you saw in the trailer that they ate mushrooms and they start seeing shit, right? Well, the female dog, played by Isla Fisher, sees this like dugout hole, and they're in the woods. So she goes into it, and you know what's coming. She sees, because she misses it. She mentions it earlier in the movie, so this was a nice callback, actually. She sees a stuffed rabbit toy and drags it out and starts tearing it apart. And then the other dogs go into the hole and grab stuffed rabbit toys. Well, once they wake up from their chemically induced mushroom coma, they look around and they're horrified. And this was actually good directing too, camera shots. They did quick cuts of the carnage of real bunnies torn apart.
And then they show it as it's going up, like an aerial view going up, and you can see the breadth of it. And they're like, oh, damn. Guys, we're never talking about this again.
Oh, they all freak out. So that was another part. I think I chuckled
like
at.
Watership Down almost, you know, where you got that moment. And so again, that's another minor highlight. But seriously, all the good scenes are in the trailer, only they're just slightly expanded upon in the movie. I mean, were they eating the mushrooms? the part in the trailer is literally the best part about it. It's just expanded. All the good scenes were, and it was kind of cute where they're talking about screwing the couch jokes and pooping and peeing, marking your territory. Those are all cute little dog tropes. And in the first 10 minutes, 15, you're getting, okay, that's cute. Problem is that's all it is. And it never gets better than that.
And this is a guy who slept through 15 minutes of it. And by the end, I was like, is there any other type of joke you can tell? You have these dogs talking and knowing about humans and stuff, and having, obviously, because they're talking, only the dogs obviously can understand it. Everybody else here is barking, but still they're communicating with each other at a higher level. It's not like they're toddlers, right? So it's like you think they would have more than just the poop and pee and jokes, and they didn't. And even the end, you saw in the trailer, they're talking about, I want to get back there and bite his dick off. And even that was kind of underwhelming. So,
yeah. And again, they had the right actors for it. Will Forte, he was just the best antagonist. You're just like, oh my God, he's great. You want to hate him. You're very stereotypical trailer park trash kind of guy who shouldn't own a dog and yet does, trying to get rid of the dog. I hated the guy, which is what you want to do. And you want that revenge at the end.
Right.
And when it was on there, it was like, oh, that's kind of gross. Oh, here it comes. And underwhelming. I mean, everything about it. And guys, you can leave your comments down below. I understand comedy we've had some good comedies this year. The Black.
Oh, yeah.
And I've enjoyed almost all of them. And I really thought I was going to like this. But, this is one where the trailer was the movie, and there's really not much more to say. I would not waste your money. Now, I know there was one guy up front who chuckled a few times, and then your daughter laughed more than anybody.
Yeah, but I mean,
so it's that type of humor.
Yeah. And I told Courtney, I said, look, maybe when I was your age, I probably would have laughed the same amount that you did, but I've been there, done that with better raunchy comedies.
Yes.
So,
yes. And the weird part is he's not joking. I didn't chuckle. I didn't laugh out loud.
Dude, you made no sound.
This is the first movie I've never even made a side comment. I always make a comment or whisper something, and it's usually, I was completely silent, and I'm thinking to myself, my God, I'm trying to find something that's really good about this movie, because I had some expectation for this movie and nothing. So needless to say, you already heard what we gave it. I will never see this movie again, and I can't recommend it. I can't believe I'm saying it with the cast of characters that they had in this.
Yeah, even if it's on TV, if you really want, just make it background noise while you're doing something else. But if you just focus watching this movie on TV, you're still wasting your time. I haven't walked out of a movie at the end of it in years where I thought to myself, can I get my hour and a half back? Oh, wait, it felt like 2. So I think I need to be tipped an extra half hour. But what doesn't feel long is Kor-Drath The Reckoning. My God, it's been a little over a year since we started this. Well, we actually launched it in September, but we've been working on it, since probably June of last year. And time has flown by. Guys, we have cracked $90,000 with both campaigns, which means everybody is going to get these wonderful stretch goals. Every one of these is 7 inches by 10 inches, 4 playable character cards of the 4 main characters, and the Shattered Reach map. Dennis wrote a fantastic game module so you can play these characters in the Kor-Drath game, or the stats are easily convertible so you can play them in your other favorite role-playing games as well. You definitely want to check this out. We are cruising to $100,000 stretch goal now, which of course is going to be a 4-page story by Bud Root, who did the beautiful Lilith variant cover. colored by Dan Lawless, who will be coloring the 4-page story as well. There is Bud's variant cover. So if you haven't backed it yet, you can go back this cover. Once we hit $100,000, this goes to 80 pages with these 4 additional pages by Bud. And they will end up looking like that among all the other gorgeous art inside the book. So guys, go check it out. I could scroll through it. Look, you can read the first 8 pages on the campaign, the first 11 on Kor-Drath.com. Those links are in the description below. I want you to take your time and go through this campaign at your leisure. Please do that. Like I said, if you haven't backed it yet, do it now. 100K is in sight, and that'll bring you that 4-page gloriness of Bud Root art. So definitely check that out. Next Wednesday, we'll be back at 5 p.m. We're thinking about inviting an old friend back to the show, Rob Hunter. So I'm going to reach out to him, see if he wants to come on just to shoot the bull, basically talk about comics, see what movies he's seen this year, and just a fun hangout session. So join us for that. And I do want to give a plug for the Professionals this week. It's on Art to Bear's channel. It's basically an AMA show, Ask Me Anything type show. And what Art would like is to tweet at us individually your questions, and each of us will grab a bunch of questions that you asked us from Twitter and answer them on the show. Nothing is off limits from what I hear. So tweet me at Andy Smith Art on Twitter, your questions. I'll check them out, pull them for the show Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern. For the bros, this has been your movie review in a few. I don't know what next week's movie is yet. So if there's something coming out that you want us to check out, or something else came out this week, I know Blue Beetle did. Oh, that's what I was going to say, Dennis. I got to be honest. Walking out of that movie, I thought to myself, probably should have seen Blue Beetle.
God, and I was already like, this is going to be better than Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle has very little interest for me. I might actually agree with you on this. So maybe it's worth checking out. Maybe get the Dog Days taste out of this mouth.
Yeah. So we actually talked about it and chose this one over Blue Beetle. So until next time, everybody have a great weekend, great rest of your day. We'll catch you later. Bye-bye, everybody.